Good afternoon, America. My name is Mark Kohler. I'm a CPA attorney and America's small business tax lawyer, wanting to help you save taxes and build your American dream on Main Street, America. And today, again, another week of a lot of news in the taxation front. IRS news, DOGE news, all sorts of good stuff. We're going to go through that. But first, as I promised in the title of this show, and this is a live show, so I would like all of you to feel comfortable making a comment, asking a question. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. I'm here every week, your source for tax news. And I want to give you actionable items to help you on your tax return and keep you informed on how to get the biggest refund, save the most in taxes, and build wealth. Now, let's get to this secret I talk about, or this myth. It's crazy. So many, I see newscasters, and a lot of times they're spokesmen for institutions or the IRS that says, hurry, get in there and file, get your tax return done. Now, there's an important point here. If you're getting a refund and the IRS owes you money, I want you to file. Because basically you've given the IRS an interest-free loan. If you're getting a refund, it just means you were sending in payments through your paycheck or deposits to the IRS throughout last year. And guess what? When you filed your tax return, you don't owe as much as you deposited in. So you get a refund. A refund is not saving taxes. I hate to tell you, but basically you gave the IRS an interest-free loan. So let's go get that freaking money. So if you start with a draft of your tax return. If you're getting a refund, I'd like to see you file your tax return. If you're not getting a refund or the refund's not that big, here's the secret. You actually reduce your chances of an audit by waiting to file. People, IRS assigns audits on a first come, first serve. First in, first out. So whoever's filing their tax returns, the IRS computer system's like, okay, let's get our auditors to work. Our little army of auditors are over here. Let's send them out to the field. Let's get going. When you extend your tax return, and all the big statistical IRS tax software companies know this, and it's statistically accurate. Sorry about stuttering there. Statistically accurate, that the later you file your tax return, the less chance of getting assigned for an audit. I file my tax return on October 14th. Now, you want to send in money if you think you owe on April 15th, because if you don't, there will be a penalty and some interest on that. Not break the bank, I'm going to jail penalty and interest. Holy crap, the IRS does not care. In fact, they love the interest and penalty, but it's about equivalent to an expensive credit card. But that's all you're doing is if you don't make a payment by April 15th, fine, file an extension, but always file an extension, because failure to file, the penalty is a lot worse. Now, that's a topic for another day, but what I'm just trying to tell all of you, there's a lot of rhetoric out there with people trying to get in the news and say, oh, Donald Trump's going to, eliminate the IRS, and oh my gosh, we're not going to have to file our tax return. Wrong, BS. They're trying to just get airtime. So don't listen to that. If you got a refund coming, file. If you have a minor refund or don't owe, or somewhere in the middle, file an extension. Take your time to file a good tax return. I'm going to be reporting here, as I do every week, ways to save taxes on your 2024 tax return. I do 2 lives a week. And we're going to report the news one day a week on the tax developments in legislation and tax policy, which is moving at a very rapid pace. And the other day, I give you strategies, ways to save taxes. It's not rocket science, and it's not as hard as you think. So stay tuned, hit the bell icon, follow if you would, please. Give me a good star rating, this thumbs up, 5 star, 10 out of 10, whatever. I'm not going anywhere. I hope I can be here to help you on your path to American Dream. So the big secret is, the big myth is that filing your tax return early is good for some reason. It's not, unless you're getting a refund. Let's get that loan you gave the IRS back. Other than that, take your time. File a freaking extension, send in a little deposit if you need to, and let's file your tax return in in May, June, July, August, September, whatever. You have until October 15th. Not the end of the world. All right, now let's get to some news here. And let's cover first Donald Trump yesterday in Florida said, well, we're going to give a refund based on the Doge savings. So Elon Musk and his team is trying to find waste, fraud, inefficiency anywhere they can. And America's like watching this like on a ticker going, what the hell is going on? Well, can I get some of that money back? Well, Donald Trump this week, yes, I want to give you some money back. Let's watch this clip.
They're curbing inflation and saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day. And there's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt. They're curbing inflation.
Wow. Now that'd be pretty cool. Wouldn't that be awesome if the IRS sent me the government sent me a check and said, sorry, we didn't spend your money too well. We'll give it back. Now before I elaborate on this too much, I want to say this for all of you listening. I don't want to be pro-Republican or pro-Democrat here. I'm trying to just report what's going on with your tax dollars and how you can save taxes and build wealth. I wish Obama, Biden, Trump, anybody in office is going to try to spend our tax dollars as efficiently as possible and get me tax savings. Now, if it happens on Trump's watch, fine. And don't freak out already. Say thank you, whether you like Trump or not. And so I don't want you to think here I'm just like pounding the drum that Trump's great or not or whatever. I'm just trying to let you know, here's what's going on and here's how you can save money. The number one cost in your life is going to be taxes. Is there something we can do about it? And if Trump actually saves you some taxes, say thank you. I don't know. Just be happy about it. But anyway, please don't beat me up in the comments here too much. Oh, Mark's MAGA, la, 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 la. No, I'm about freaking anybody in there that wants to save us money. Let's talk about it. If there's inefficiency, there's fraud, there's whatever, find it. Please, thank you. Go get it, Elon. Thank you. Now go back to building rockets, which he will do. We assume. Okay, now, so Trump says he's going to give us 20% back. Now, I've been asked a lot about this. I want to let you know, this is not going to be taxable. This is like a tax refund. So we don't know the numbers yet. I'm going to start trying to put together some estimates this week as we look at the total savings that Doge has found, and we take 20% of that and divide that by taxpayers in America. I want to find out what that number is. Is it $500? $1,000? More? Well, I will let you know here as soon as I do the math on that. It's not easy math. This is not fifth grade math, girl math, guy math, whatever. I'll figure that out for you. But that's on the table. It would be non-taxable. How cool would that be? I'd love to see $87.19. I could live with that. Tax-free money with the government giving me some money back. Now, also, number 2, Trump says we're going to abolish the IRS. Wow. Okay, now, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary on Fox, just yesterday, representing Donald Trump and the Trump administration, told us this.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue.
Okay. Now, let's think about this for a minute. Now, does anybody love the IRS or paying taxes? No. But I do love America. I love living here. I love the Department of Defense keeping me safe. I love capitalism. I like having a small business. Now, if Donald Trump, as he says, can go out and tariff companies wanting to bring to the United States product enough to give us enough money that we don't need taxes, he's saying, I would love to abolish the IRS. Now, we have to remember Trump's negotiating skills and what he does. And what he does is he goes out there. He says something that's a little extreme, and then we settle back here. And it's a negotiation tactic of him to get a discussion going. So when he says, I want to abolish the IRS, what he's going to end up is with some probably cool taxation policy. Well, we'll see. So now hang with me. Last year, in 2024, the federal budget was funded with about $850 billion, close to $1 trillion of U.S. taxpayer taxes. That's corporations and individuals. So let's just round it up for fun to a trillion. So $1 trillion comes in to pay for all the things we want to do. So if we want to get rid of the IRS and get rid of taxes, we got to come up with $1 trillion. Now, tariffs is one of the topics on the table. Also, Doge finding savings is on the table. Now, is Doge going to be able to find $1 trillion in savings every year? Probably not. It doesn't make, let's go get the inefficiencies and savings, but now we're going to be lean and mean moving forward is our hope. So can we tariff our way out of this? Now, let's understand what a tariff is. Trump is not tariffing a country like Germany. What he's tariffing is BMW and Mercedes. And he's saying, hey, BMW and Mercedes, if you want to sell your car here, I want 10% of whatever the value of that Mercedes is, and then you can come here and sell your car. And you're going to give that money to our government. So it's not Germany giving us money. It's the company that wants to sell their product in the U.S. When he says, I want to tariff China, he doesn't want to tariff China. He wants to tariff the companies in China that are coming to the U.S. So if Germany wants to bring a $50,000 BMW here, can you get a BMW for $50,000? Okay, maybe the three series. Okay, $50,000. He says a tariff of 10%. Then BMW has to give the United States $5,000 to bring their car here. Okay. Now, currently, my understanding is Germany is tariffing U.S. automakers about 12.5%, and we're have a tariff against German automakers of about 2.5%. That's something Trump wants to fix. Okay. So if we want tariff money, that's the concept. How are we going to come up with $1 trillion? Well, imports last year in the United States from foreign countries is about $1 trillion. So we're letting companies from around the world bring their stuff to America and sell it to our citizens in the tune of about $1 trillion worth of product. Well, if we need $1 trillion, that means we've got to charge 100% tariff. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, let's say best case scenario, Trump tariffs them 10%. Okay, we just made $100 billion. All right, that helps. But are we going to get rid of the IRS with that? And are we going to be able to sustain that every year and year and there? And, by the way, can Trump abolish the IRS? No, that's an act of Congress. So let's just maybe bring down the rhetoric a little bit. And all these news stations that are like, we're going to get rid of the IRS. I'm like, what are you smoking? We're not going to get rid of the IRS. I wish, but it's not going to happen. So let's just get real and know that, hey, if we can bring in some extra tariff money, sounds good. If we can save money over here, Doge, thank you. Sounds great. If we can increase U.S.-made products and create more GNP and more tax revenue in the bucket while we have lower tax rates, that's great. That's how it works. We got to make this thing balance. So don't take stock in the fact the IRS is going away. File an extension. Do your tax return for last year. Be strategic. I'll give you every strategy in the book that's ethical, honest, and not going to get you in problems. And let's save taxes and build our American dream. But let's keep it real. All right. So next topic. Doge showed up at the IRS this week. Woohoo! Boy, that's got to be fun. The auditor is getting audited. How exciting. Oh, how the tables have turned. So pretty exciting, right? And now, by the way, again, I'm on multiple social platforms here. I would love to hear your questions. I'll do my best to help you out. I do have a crystal ball over here, so I can answer any question you have. And I have an easy button, so I can make it easy. We'll make it work. Okay, now, the government, on their own initiative, the IRS commissioner, by the way, we have an acting IRS commissioner. The IRS commissioner, Daniel Werfel, stepped down when Trump came in. The new IRS commissioner, we hope, is going to be Billy Long. He has been nominated but not confirmed by the Senate yet, so we'll wait to hear about that. So right now, they're talking about firing about 6,000 to 14,000 IRS workers. Okay, let's let that settle in for a minute. Now, there's two ways to look at it, and we've seen it out in the news, right? Again, I'm trying to just be bipartisan here. Some people are like, oh my gosh, This is going to wreak havoc at the IRS. Oh my hell, this is not good. 6,000 employees. You call the IRS right now. I've got to be on hold for an hour. Oh my hell, the sky is falling. We can't fire IRS employees. We need more of them. Okay, that's fine. That's an opinion. Others are like, I think we're a little inefficient everywhere. Maybe we do need to fire some employees. Give me more information. Well, let me give it to you. Right now, there's approximately 100 to 110,000 employees at the IRS. Number two fact, in 2022, just 2.5 years ago, President Biden pushed for the Inflation Reduction Act. They call it the IRA. Can we name it any worse when we have IRAs and Roths out there? Whatever. Okay, we call it the Inflation Reduction Act and asked for an $80 billion budget for more agents to audit you and me. And Congress approved that. $80 billion to ramp up the IRS. And they went on a hiring spree and hired a bunch of people to audit Americans. Now, I'm okay. I'm good going after taxpayers that are crooks. I have no problem with that. I pay my taxes. But I also don't want to get audited when I'm a taxpayer paying my bills and trying to be good. So, I don't know. $80 billion for the IRS to just start auditing people? Well, Congress didn't like that either. So last year, they did an adjustment to this budget amount. And to make a long story short, we reduced that by about $20 billion. And so we're around $65 billion now budget to just go out and audit people. Okay, that's what's on the table. So if Donald Trump, now this is the fact, is saying, let's get a little more efficient, let's clean house. Biden has ramped up as many employees as possible. There are more employees at the IRS now than there's been there in 30 years. 100 to 110,000 employees. Donald Trump saying, you know what? Could we get rid of 10% of them? Could we be a little more efficient? Maybe I don't want as many agents out there auditing you. That's what he's saying. Love him or hate him again. That's the facts. So maybe, again, we can just take a chill pill, and it's not going to be chaos at the IRS if we get rid of 6,000 employees around there that are bringing around cups of coffee to other workers on the floor. I don't know why we need that many employees that we got so ramped up we need to go audit more people either. Now, that's my opinion. I'd like an efficient IRS. I'm going to pay my taxes. But if we could trim the fat, 10%, I don't know. I think that sounds generally acceptable. Now we're going to find out. So lots of ruckus going on over there. We don't want Doge in there looking at the IRS trying to be more efficient. That's another message out there we'll have to see. And I don't know. We won't touch that one today. So in summary, let's stay calm. And let's continue to build our dreams. Let's worry about our own little economy. Let's try to save money, get out of debt, expand income sources in our world, our ecosystem, by expanding our side hustle, our small business, our big business, asking for a raise at work, working overtime. Maybe that overtime won't be taxed. Maybe you're getting tips at work. Maybe those won't be taxed. The Joint Committee of the Senate and House is now working on that legislation. As soon as I have any indications of what's in there, I will share it with you. Well, let's go to the airwaves now. I'd love to help answer any questions you might have about building your small business, any of these tax policy questions, and let's get practical. This comes down to brass tacks of just waking up tomorrow and making sure I have more money in my pocket to do the things I enjoy doing. Dana, what do we got? Any good questions out there?
We do. Here's the first one. Do you think if they close the IRS, are they going to forget the debt that some people own?
Oh, no. If you owe the IRS, you're going to keep owing the IRS. I have a fundamental problem with that. Someone that hasn't paid their taxes for the last 3 years, 5 years, or whatever, and some of you may have a terrible life experience that occurred. Cancer, a death in the family, disability, and you owe the IRS. My heart goes out to you. There are programs at the IRS that you can lean on, use, apply for when you've had a a difficult situation in your life. Other than that, if you owe the IRS, is it fair to some of us, you, me, that have paid our taxes, there's someone else that hasn't got around to paying their taxes and says, hey, Trump administration, do us a solid and forgive all those people that owe IRS that didn't pay their taxes when other people did? Not going to happen. It's almost like forgiving college debt, another sensitive topic. But if you ran up debt in college, that's your debt. People that paid their debts in college aren't going to pay that for you. So I hate to tell you, get on a payment plan, get with a tax advisor that can help you through that process. Here I've got the Main Street Tax Pro Network. I've trained over 1,000 accountants in our community that I learn from as well. I love my community. And if you're an accountant, a CPA, or an enrolled agent, and you want to be a part of a program where you can build an advisory practice and be making more money helping clients that respect and love you, and many business owners out there would love to work with a tax advisor, please go to markjkohler.com and you can find the network. You don't pay me. You can just search it to find an accountant that can help you. Oh, and we threw up our QR code. If you're an accountant or again, and you want to be a part of our Tax Pro network, you can go here, go there, here, there we go, over here. There, go there, and do a demo. Talk to one of my new member service team, and they will walk you through what it's all about. All right, there'll be a link down below for that too. Next question, Dana.
Next question, would tariffs essentially amount to a consumption task on the consumer?
No. And by the way, I need to hold a full episode just breaking down tariffs. There's two camps on this. Some people say, let's go back to the BMW experience. Donald Trump's administration may say, hey, BMW, you charge us 10% to bring a Ford truck into Germany. We're going to charge you 10% to bring, let's rephrase that. Hey, Germany, you charge Ford Motor Company 10% to bring a Ford F-150 into Germany. Well, if you want to bring a BMW 3 Series over here, our government's going to charge you 10%. What's fair is fair. You charge us 10%, we'll charge you 10%. Reciprocal tariff. Doesn't sound too crazy. So BMW is going to give our government $5,000. Now the question is, well, Mark, isn't BMW just going to increase the cost of the BMW 3 Series to $55,000 and I end up paying it? Maybe, but economists, report after report, history shows that those companies eat it. They want to sell that BMW in a competitive marketplace and keep the price the same and use it and write that off as a cost of doing business. And if they don't want to bring the BMW to the United States, they have a choice. They don't have to. Further, what the Trump administration is trying to do is say, hey, we're going to give tax incentives to Ford and Chrysler and any other company in the United States, auto manufacturer that wants to build here in the U.S., we'll actually give you tax incentives so that your car might be a little cheaper for the average American consumer. So you, the American consumer, benefit and that you might be able to buy a U.S.-made vehicle even cheaper because now they're more competitive with BMW, who's getting a killer deal to come here. Now, for you BMW aficionados, you might be the loser. But for as a general auto consumer, you're going to have more choices, and you can choose a U.S.-made vehicle that might even be cheaper. So it doesn't always increase your cost as a consumer. It's up to that company, BMW, to decide how they want to deal with it. There you go. Next question.
All right, here we have, what do you think these changes will mean for the future of tax prep?
Nothing. Tax returns are still going to be filed. Tax deadlines will remain the same. There's no legislation being proposed anywhere to get rid of the IRS or to get rid of tax returns, everybody. If you're seeing someone in the news like, this is your chance. No, you're still going to need to file. Now, maybe there's more write-offs. Maybe tax rates are lower. But this is a country that we're supported with tax revenue to provide safety, security, and benefits for the way of life as an American. And it's going to cost us. And I don't think as many of you that charging other companies in other countries is going to pay for all that. It's not. So forms are going to stay the same. Nothing's changing there. There's no legislation anywhere in Congress right now to get rid of the IRS or the forms as we know it. So just same MO. Let's keep our heads down and keep focused on our dream. Next question.
We actually have somebody here who I think maybe is tuned in a little bit late, but I'd love to hear you talk about this again. Is they're saying that Trump had a guy come out earlier today and say that Trump's goal is to abolish the IRS. Could you just touch on that again?
So we're hearing this in the news a lot. Now this is classic Trump. Again, I'm not a psychotherapist and analysis. I have a degree in this as a doctorate, but we've seen this time and time with Trump, and he's a master negotiator and persuader. So hear me out. When Trump says, I want to abolish the IRS, I know he realizes that that's not a possibility in this lifetime. It's just not going to happen. But what does he do? He gets everybody worked up. He gets them all excited to go, oh my gosh, we might get rid of the IRS. And he puts this goal or this thing way out there that kind of gets everybody worked up and excited and talking about the issue. And then as reality sets in, they all come back and go, okay, we didn't get rid of the IRS, but we got some cool tax legislation. We get something. We get here. We get this halfway point. One other example. Your car might be worth $15,000. But you're going to go out there and ask for $30,000. You're like, oh, my car's worth $30,000. And a buyer's like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's worth $30,000. No, it's not. And then you say, okay, well, I'll take 20. It's not worth 20. Okay, well, okay, I'll give you 15. And so the buyer all of a sudden is like, I'll give you 15. And that may be what you wanted all the way along. But you don't start with 15 because then you end up getting 10. So when you put the goal way out there and you draw attention to that and create conversation and create issue, like focus on that, you settle where you ultimately wanted to be. And Trump, as a master negotiator in real estate and in business and as a politician, has figured out, I can say, we're going to buy Canada and piss a lot of people off, right? But what does he want to do? Quit giving Canada billions of dollars to help them out every year. Maybe it's time they can pay for their own stuff. I'm saying that in general. My Canadians out there are not trying to piss you off, but that's what's going on. Trump says that to create a conversation. Just know what it's about. And it's all good. It's cool. Dana, next question.
Okay, next question. We have a couple people across our platforms who are asking about the BOI update.
Oh my gosh, I need to bring you guys up on this. I wanted to play some Eminem. It is back. It is back. Oh, it's a great song. Anyway, the BOI Business Owner Information Report is back. Now, this has come and gone over the last 3 to 4 months. It has been a roller coaster. If you have whiplash, I don't blame you. So what this report is for all business owners in America needed to file this report by December 31st or face daily a penalty of $500 and can go to jail for up to 2 years. Well, there was a case in the Supreme Court, and so they put it on hold, and then a district court said temporary restraining order, and then it came back, and then they went back, and no one is there. Okay. All of the cases now, there's no restraining order. It is it is now back on FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the sister to the IRS, has said, you got 30 days. And they said this 2 days ago. So we're looking at March 19th at the latest to file your BOI report if you're a business owner. We're talking over 40 million LLC owners. You've got to file that report before March 19th or face penalties of $500 a day. Now, the report is super easy. You can get on the FinCEN website and do it, but you got to provide the owners and the managers of the entities or the officers of the corporation, provide a driver's license, your home address, not a social security number. It's federally private. It's not going to be on Google. Public can't see it. Now, I've got videos on my YouTube channel on this. I've shot a full 20, 30-minute explanation with my partner, Matt Sorensen, with our podcast, explaining what to do, what are the exceptions. So please get over there. I hopefully can put a link somewhere in our description. But go watch that video, our Main Street Business Podcast on the BOI update. But everybody, if you're a business owner and you have an LLC in any state, and you created a, I don't know when, I don't care, or a corporation, an S corporation, there are only a few exceptions. I would say 98% of small business owners have got to file this freaking report. I've filed it on all my entities. We have a service that's $200. We do your minutes. You can have your corporate board meeting, your family board meeting along with that. It's all included. Check it out, a couple $100. It's Main Street Business Services. Google it. Main Street Business Services will take care of you and get your entities cleaned up. This is a great time to clean house. So BOI's back up. Sorry. It's to catch the bad guys out there, the money launderers, drug traffickers, scam artists. We got to try to stop people hiding from behind LLCs and corporations. A couple more questions?
Yeah, a couple follow-up questions actually with that is, what if my LLC is inactive? Does the BOI, do I still need to do the BOI?
Okay, the exception is if you set your entity up before 2019 and you haven't done a thing with it. Nothing. No bank account. You haven't touched it at all. You haven't put a piece of property in it. Well, I haven't used it at all. Does it own a piece of real estate? Yeah, then you've used it. But if it is seriously a piece of paper in the drawer and you haven't done anything with it and you formed it before 2019, you're off the hook. But if you formed it after 2019, doesn't matter. Even if you haven't used it, you are required to file the BOI report. So dissolve the damn thing, but file the report before you do. Because you got to file the report within 30 days, then you can dissolve it. Don't hate the player, just hate the game. I'm just the messenger. Quit throwing darts. Okay, all right. Next question.
Here's an interesting question. What do you think about a flat tax?
Well, the flat tax, and I've written articles to Wall Street Journal on this. Steve Forbes was back in the day a big proponent of the flat tax. Now, it sounds sexy. I get that. But a progressive tax actually, there's two issues here. First of all, a progressive tax, it's a lower rate for people that have lower income and a higher rate for people that have higher income. Now, I know there's a lot of rhetoric out there. The rich don't pay their fair share. I'm kind of rich, and I kind of pay a lot in taxes. You pay a higher percentage when you make more money. So I'm kind of a little over with the you don't pay your fair share. And if you make less money, you pay a lower rate. So when you do a flat tax, I'll tell you, the rich would love that because that flat tax is not going to be at 40%. It's probably going to be lower. Sign me up. It's not going to happen. So the progressive tax actually helps those with lower income. Flat tax is not good unless you're super wealthy. Okay, number two, think about the tax code. Yeah, it's about 4 feet wide, but the tax code is there to motivate us to do things. And many of you that have followed me have heard me say this over and over again. When you do things that the government asks you to do, we give you a tax benefit. Go buy real estate, take depreciation. Go put in solar at your house, get a tax credit. Buy an electric vehicle, get a tax credit. Put in handicap access at your business, get a tax credit. Have children, get a tax credit. Get married, save taxes. There are so many little things that you can do to save taxes, and the tax code benefits you. Buy oil and gas and drill in the U.S., save taxes. The list goes on and on. If you have children, you save more in taxes. If you make less money, we'll give you tax credits through the Earned Income Tax Credit. So a flat tax takes away all those incentives to save taxes. And you want, guys, just get in the know. There's so many awesome ways to save taxes. It's kind of fun. When you go shopping, you're like, oh, look I saved so much money when I was shopping. Oh, that's how I want you to do when you tax return. Oh, look how much money I saved doing taxes. People, last I'm going to leave you with this. It's easier to save money than make money. Let me repeat that. It's easier to save money than make money. Number one cost in your life is taxes. Maybe we could save a little bit there. So I'm preaching to the choir. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be here every week through this massive tax policy year with new tax legislation. This is going to be an opportunity for you to save taxes yourself, build wealth. I'm not going anywhere. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let me know how you're feeling. We'll be here next Tuesday and Thursday every week, giving you important tax tips and updates in America. Thanks, everyone.